Hello everyone. Unfortunately, in our last challenge, this one right here, our last elimination challenge, there were some allegations of foul play, and the person who was accused actually admitted to doing it. And this foul play unfortunately changed the results drastically, where the person who got last place would have actually gotten first place. There are two witnesses who can verify this. I am one of them. And without further ado, I'm going to go over the evidence. So first off, what happened here? So as you can see, it said that Joe won. Yeah, that's not what happened. So what happened is simple. So Hats was doing the challenge, right? And me and Wang were in voice chat, muted, watching him. DMing each other, and Hats was going really fast, so we were keeping time because, we were actually pretty impressed of how fast he was going. And he was like a minute and 10 seconds in, about, I think, with only a few things left to do. And then his power goes out, or his internet goes out, or something happens, and he DCs. I thought at first that it was the power, but now I think something else might have happened. But in any case, it doesn't matter. The Hats randomly disconnected from the voice chat 1 minute and 10 seconds into the challenge while he was in VC with me and him watching him. And then after like, I don't know, maybe 15 or so minutes of his power being off, or him being disconnected, or his internet being down, he comes back. And within like 20 seconds or so, he finishes it. And if we go back to the rules, like a minute and 30 seconds would have been the time, right? Because a minute originally plus 20 seconds after he logged on, that's only a minute 30. Even if like that's nowhere near Joe's time. Hats actually blew Joe out of the water. So Hats really should have been first place. So originally, we just thought, oh, his power must have died, or maybe there was like a thunderstorm, unlucky. It sucks, but like you just have to go with it. And again, right? Wang is here, and she is saying that Hats was streaming to us. We both stayed the full 15 minutes while his internet was down, and then he came back and we finished in 20 seconds. Me and Wang saw it, and like Wang isn't particularly close with the Hats, so like what reason does she have to lie? But she does say that she saw it all, and then again, me and Wang confirmed that it was done in a minute and 30 seconds. So you have a very trustworthy source that's even in her name, not related to the Hats in any way, shape, or form, and no reason to lie on his behalf. And she is saying that Hats finished it in a minute 30, but he disconnected or something happened midway through. And yeah. So we just figured, okay, Hats got unlucky. His internet went down, thunderstorm happened, and then the bombshell. So again, right? I'm accusing Boy Scout, right? Purgile that belongs to the Hats. Low key, I think you DDoSed him. Okay. So that's an admission right there that he did it. Should be a ban. Switch Hats to Boy Scout. DDoSing such a Cub Scout move. Right, exactly. And JSM said okay. He didn't say no, I didn't. He said okay, which means he admits to DDoSing the Hats. So what we have here is that we have one competitor in the challenge DDoSing another so that he can get the Purge idol and eliminate one of the stronger competitors in the tournament series, which is not okay at all, in my opinion. But there's nothing explicitly in the rules against this besides toxicity and cheating. So we're going to go over these two things. So what we know for sure is, according to Wang, Hats finished in a minute 30, if not for being DC'd or not able to, or booted off Discord, we'll say that. Maybe his, you know what I mean? Maybe Joe's joking. I don't think so, because the thing about Joe is you're thinking, well, how would Joe even know Hat's IP address? And, you know, I don't really like talking about this because it's kind of a sensitive subject, but for a very long time, Joe would harass the Hats. There was this 10p Avalon Discord server, and what Joe would do in it is Joe would wait for the Hats to do any little thing wrong, and then he'd DM the 10p mods over and over again until they finally banned him, which is pretty much like harassment according to many people. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's certainly, you know, not healthy behavior, certainly obsessive. So it's like if you have someone who's like micromanaging someone's every little thing to see if they broke a rule or something so you can report it to the mods, which is what JSM did, then, you know, it's like it's very easy to say that, okay, this guy maybe would go out of his way to find the Hat's IP and then use it against him because, you know, if you're going to stalk someone's, you know, behavior so you can report it to the 10p Avalon mods, why not stalk their IP address? So it's like you have this history of JSM treating the Hats this way, and then on top of that, you have this confession that JSM said, yes, okay, I admit to DDoSing someone. So the question now is, do we think DDoSing is against the rules? It's a felony charge in the USA. That is true. I don't think the Hats is the kind of person to press charges, but you never know. I mean, like maybe like he needed his computer, like maybe he had someone in his family working from home and their computer was a source of income. Like you never know of these things, so I can encourage people to never ever DDoS, but it's a felony in the United States. It doesn't mean it's a felony in the world of RRTC. So cheating is not allowed in any way. What is cheating though? Not explicitly stated in the rules. Is DDoSing cheating? I would say yes, because not everyone can do it. You know, not everyone can deal with a jail sentence. Not everyone can, you know, at least, well, everyone can kind of deal with a jail sentence, but like, it affects different people differently in such a big way that you think, you know, if it's a felony in the United States, you would think it would also be banned as cheating, since most people wouldn't be willing to do a felony just to win a game. And then toxicity. I think booting someone off the internet entirely is a very toxic action. It's subjective. Like, but in my opinion, I would say yes, that is a toxic behavior to do. Like, maybe someone could make the argument, oh, you know, it's good to take a break from the internet, but people should have a say over that of when they take their break, in my opinion. And the Hats is certainly not, like, addicted to being online or anything like that. He definitely, you know, is a very healthy life. So there's no reason to really, like, DDoS him for any non-toxic reasons. So he breaks two rules here, toxicity and cheating. And again, has he responded yet? I tried to reach out to him. Okay. So he just responded. Cheating to this rule. I just restated the rules. I believe DDoSing is cheating. And I told him, cheating is obviously not allowed in any way. That's the ROTC rules. If you are suspected of cheating in a challenge, you may be asked to give additional proof that you did not cheat. And I told him earlier that I suspected that he cheated. If he failed to comply with this request, it will result in your immediate removal. So here's him saying, okay, he's acknowledging my request, but he's not complying with it by giving proof that he didn't cheat, which makes sense because he admitted to doing it. And again, since obviously if he didn't cheat, there's nothing to hide, that he's hiding, because I accused him of DDoSing because he said, because when I accused him of DDoSing the first time, he said, okay, you know, I did that. You know, that's basically what okay means, right? So it's like, he's being suspected of DDoSing because it's suspicious when you spend all this time like stalking the Hats, and then in an important challenge he just randomly disconnects. So I suspect him of cheating. I asked him for proof he didn't. He said okay, which I think is an admittance that he did do it. But even if it's not, if you are suspected of cheating, you may be asked to give additional proof that you did not cheat. If you fail to comply with this request, it will result in your immediate removal, since obviously, if you didn't cheat, there's nothing to hide. So again, right, even if you think maybe JSM was joking, someone suspected him of cheating. So according to the RRTC rules, Okay, and this is the ROTC rules, not what I'm saying. What, you know, like what the mods are saying is that if you did not cheat, then you obviously have nothing to hide. So therefore, since JSM is refusing to comply with this request, since he's hiding things, obviously he cheated. Obviously he DDoSed the hats. Not only does he have this OK, which is basically an admittance, but he's also, according to the policy, hiding things, since he was suspected of cheating, asked by another player, right? You may be asked for additional proof that he did not cheat. He did not provide it. If you fail to comply with this request, it will result in your immediate removal. He had 2 chances, did not do it, despite having 2 hours at this point. Did not do it. I gave him one last chance, did not do it. So, he admitted to cheating. I told him that this OK was a statement of him admitting to cheating. And what's his response? Another OK. He agrees with the statement. He agrees with it. So, Joe agrees that he himself cheated. He refuses to give proof that he didn't, which is required when someone accuses you. And if you don't give proof, you should be banned. Or not banned, but removed from the season. So, I think it's pretty imminent that he's probably going to be removed from the season because, you know, he admitted cheating. But now, what's the play here? Because still, like, his removal affects things. So since Joe admitted to cheating, and since Wang testified that the hats would have had a time of 1 minute 30 seconds, I don't know where it was, but we already saw this, right? But yeah, that the hats would have had a time of 1 minute and 30 seconds without Joe's interference. What we can say here is, what we can do is, instead of eliminating Fanny, we could still eliminate her, since she got last. We could actually say, okay, Joe cheated, he's automatically disqualified from the challenge, and say the hats, Haka, and Fanny are safe. Joe would get eliminated. And you could make the argument that maybe Joe's 225 shouldn't count, since, you know, if you know that, say, let's say that you know Haka and Fanny aren't really as likely to beat you in the challenge as the hats is. So as a result, you don't have to go as fast as you'd like to. You can be a bit more like confident in taking your time and playing it safe, and double checking your answers, crossing your I's, dotting your T's. Because let's say JSM didn't have the knowledge that he was going to DDoS the hats, and as a result wouldn't have to compete with him. He would have been like, okay, I know the hats is going to beat this in 1 minute 30, so I'm going to have to go really fast. And maybe what could happen is JSM, as a result of going faster to try to beat the hats, he misses something that he didn't miss this time around, and as a result he'd get one wrong answer, and that would bump him down to last place. So I think there's a valid argument that this cheating did impact not just the hats' score, but also Joe's score as well, and that I think the proper play here would be for Joe to be eliminated, the hats to be brought back, and since Wang testified that Wang testified that the hats' time was 1 minute and 30 seconds. That means that the hats would have the #1 time, and thus the purge idol should go to the hats. That is fair in my opinion. I have let the mods know that this is happening, but again, spectators, make your voices heard. Like, if you think that, like, because it's not officially in the rules that DDoSing is cheating. It's not. People have different definitions of what is and isn't cheating. You could argue that maybe JSM socially deduced the hat's IP address and should be rewarded for that. I think that's a bad argument. Some people might disagree. So, again, we want to hear your opinions here, because what we know for sure is that JSM DDoSed the hats. The hats would have won first place if not for what JSM did. Now, what we don't know is the DDoSing considered cheating? Is DDoSing considered toxic? That's for the community to decide, and that's why I'm going to ask you, the spectators, to make your voices heard on these questions. Do you think what Joe did was fair? Thank you. Have a great night.